Hello and welcome. Today we are dealing with a special letter, the letter to the Colossians. It is impossible to treat this letter in 7 minutes, but I will try to highlight some important points. First question: did Paul write a letter to people he did not know? The second question we ask: what was the problems of the Colossians? The third question we will ask is: who is Jesus Christ really? Concerning the first question, did Paul write a letter to people he did not know? From chapters 1 verse 3 and 2 verse 1 we can conclude that it was not Paul but Epaphras who planted this church. It can be assumed that this Epaphras attended a 2-year Bible school in Ephesus. In the book of Acts chapter 19 we read about these lectures. That also says that all those who lived in Asia heard the word of the Lord. It is likely that these believers, after attending the lectures, traveled through the area preaching the word. One of them was Epaphras. He was from Colossae, which was in Asia, that is the present-day southwest Turkey. It was a city circa 200 kilometers east of Ephesus. Not far from Colossae, there were also 2 other cities, Laodicea and Hierapolis. Probably these 3 churches have been planted by the work of Epaphras. That would also be the reason why these 2 cities are being mentioned in chapters 2 and 4. And that this letter also had to be read out loud in Laodicea. So it seems Paul did not know these people in Colossae. Today, there's nothing left of Colossae. When we drove this 1 kilometer, see the sign in the background, to the excavation site, there was nothing to be seen there. And that is still the case. On the other hand, in Laodicea and in Hierapolis, there's still much to be seen from that period in history. Concerning the second question, what was the problem of the Colossians? We have noticed in the previous videos that each letter in the New Testament has its own subject. The letter to the Romans, the gospel for Christians. The letter to the Corinthians, church order. The letter to the Galatians, the Christian and the law. The letter to the Ephesians, the heavenly places. In Colossae, there were other problems. After the church in Colossae had started, various false teachings arose. For example, some said, sure, it is good to believe in Jesus, but it's also good to observe Jewish rituals, laws on purity and Jewish feasts. Not only that, they said, believing in Jesus is good, but there is much more. Philosophies and things like that, worship of angels, it can enrich our faith. So in short, these false teachers said believing in Jesus is good, of course, but there are many other deep and interesting insights that are also important for your faith. As soon as Epaphras realized this, it was so important to him to hear what Paul would say about this that it made him travel to Rome. When Paul heard what Epaphras reported, he immediately wrote this letter to the Colossians, in which he asserted that everything we need is to be found in Jesus. We need nothing more, for in him all the fullness dwells physically, and you are perfected in him. Or to put it another way, you are completed or brought to fullness in him. Really, we do not need anything else anymore. He, Jesus, has not only made right everything for us, but in him we also find all we need to know for our salvation. Now as to the third question, who is Jesus really? Well, so much is said about this in the first chapter that one can only marvel. This Jesus is God the Son, and he is God's dearest Son. God the Father loves him to the end. He is the image of the invisible God. Do you want to get to know God? No, you cannot see him, but if you look at Jesus, then you see God. And he is the firstborn of all creation. This does not mean that he was born first. No, it means he is the most important person in the whole creation. No one can get past him. He is the creator. Just listen. Through him, all things have been created. What things? Things in heaven, stars, moons, angelic powers, and domination areas in the invisible world. Things on earth, plants and animals in their diversity, humans, they're all different. And he is the head of the church. He is the most important one in the church, the one who holds everything together. Do you see how great he is? Apart from him, we really do not need anything else. I know there's much more in this letter. Please read it again for yourself. Next time we deal with the first letter to the Thessalonians. Until then, God bless you, your Wim Hoddenbagh.